Your mission deserves more than a clunky, outdated website. But between limited budgets and zero tech support, how are you supposed to build something that actually works? Well, in this video here, I'll show you 3 nonprofit-friendly website builders that make creating a professional site simple, fast, and yes, affordable. One of them even lets you build a homepage in under 60 seconds, but we'll get to that here in a minute. So first is Wix, which is the best all around, right? So have you ever wondered why, some nonprofit websites, they feel instantly welcoming while others kind of lose you before you've even scrolled? Well, that vibe almost always comes down to design and usability, which is where Wix shines. Imagine putting together your organization's site like, visually stacking blocks, and you just drag and drop and tweak, and suddenly your site looks polished and professional. Well, Wix is built for teams that want to launch fast and steer clear of tech headaches. And here's why Wix leads a pack for nonprofits. You get over 900 templates with nonprofit-specific options ready to go to. A fundraising toolkit that's part of the package, and a dashboard so simple that it's almost criminal. And if everyone in the organization is clamoring for the fastest route to finish a site, Wix's AI wizard can whip up a homepage based on just a few simple questions about your organization's style and mission in less than 60 seconds. But what really matters for nonprofits is that everything donors and volunteers need. So event calendars, sign-up forms, donation buttons, it's all right there, all set to go the moment that you launch. Plus, you can start for free, which is obviously perfect if you're just testing things out. So to give it a try, you can go ahead and click right up here, or check out the link in the description below, along with links to every other platform that I mentioned in this video. Oh, and if you use any of my links in the description, or this one here, they'll give you the absolute best pricing. Plus, you'll support me, which I sincerely appreciate. But back to Wix here. And let's give a quick fair warning. So once you pick a template, you're locked in. Switching means starting fresh, so just pick wisely. And for big plans like member areas or advanced tracking, there are premium upgrades required. But to be honest, most nonprofits, they don't need those out of the gate anyway. Wix helps answer the, can we just have a simple site that works question with a big friendly yes. And if your team needs to look legit, launch fast, and update projects in real time without a bunch of tech know-how, this platform lets you focus on the work, not on learning web design from scratch. But what if your nonprofit's budget is so tight that you're counting every dollar? Well, while Wix, has a pretty reasonable price, there's an even more affordable platform that you may want to consider instead. So you've got a million priorities, right? You're spinning 1,000 plates, and your website budget is basically whatever's left in the cookie jar. But what if you could launch a clean, credible online presence for less than most folks spend on coffee each month? Well, that's where Hostinger comes in. So Hostinger's site builder doesn't play around, right? It's lightning fast and geared for folks who want results, not roadblocks. You get straightforward editing with a drag and drop system, which means that anyone on your team can jump in and start building, even if they have no clue how to properly design a website. They currently have 10 nonprofit-friendly templates, mobile-ready layouts, free SSL security, and a bundled email address, so your nonprofit instantly looks trustworthy and professional, even if you're just starting out. Hostinger's pricing starts at just $2.99 a month, making it easily one of the most affordable website builders out there. And I'm well aware that this is huge for small or volunteer-run nonprofits, churches, and community projects that need visibility without breaking the bank. Now, while you do get e-commerce tools as well and a donation button, Hostinger's features are best for really, simple organizations, limited customization, and straightforward payment processing, and just easy day-to-day updates. It's not as good as Wix because there are many less templates and less built-in tools, and you really might find yourself kind of wishing for more high-end design options down the road, but it does nail the basics, and that's what matters when your resources and finances are just really tight. But still, what about those nonprofits ready to go big with, events, member sections, and custom features? Well, let's dig into what WordPress with Divi can do. So if you've ever wished that your nonprofit website could do, just about anything, you're officially in WordPress territory. Pairing WordPress with the Divi website builder, it opens the door to customization far beyond what drag and drop basics can offer. So if your organization wants, event calendars, custom donation pages, volunteer portals, photo galleries, and maybe a blog that actually gets read, this combo has you covered. But here's the thing, with Divi's visual editor, you're not tinkering with, complicated code to move a button or change a background like WordPress requires usually. Instead, building a website feels as intuitive as working in PowerPoint, so your team can bring their ideas to life in real time without waiting for a developer or designer to step in. And that's a game changer for nonprofits where time and people are always short in supply. The true payoff comes when your mission starts to grow. So instead of feeling, boxed in, WordPress, it lets you add new features as you need them. And you could start with a few key pages and then, spin out membership areas, add advanced fundraising plugins like GiveWP, or launch community forums, all without ever ditching your core site or paying surprise upgrade fees. That's why WordPress now powers over 40% of all sites on the internet. It's as adaptable as you'd like. But don't let the flexibility fool you, as it's not all positive. So WordPress, it does expect you to handle updates and backups, and sometimes you'll need to search and spend for the right plugin to make sure that things work. There are thousands of them. It's not set it and forget it either, but for organizations that want maximum control and maybe even a fresh look every season, WordPress with Divi is a really smart move. But before you jump into directly building your site, let's switch gears here for 1 second and break down what actually matters most when choosing a nonprofit website builder. So how do you actually pick the right platform when every option boasts, no coding required and easy fundraising? Well, here's the truth. There are a few specific features that change everything for a nonprofit, and skipping over them can leave your team struggling with clunky forms, missed donations, or confusing website updates. So first is user friendliness. It's a non-negotiable. You need a drag and drop editor or a simple visual builder, not something that requires marathon training just to add a new event. If your team can update the calendar, swap out photos, and create blog posts with a few clicks, they'll stay engaged and viewers will keep coming back. And to be honest, all the website builders that we reviewed in this video, they have this. So there's really no need to worry there. Now, second, built-in donation tools should make giving super easy for supporters with, secure payment processing and minimal friction. Think big, donate now buttons or embedded forms people could fill on their phone during a volunteer event. If it takes more than, 60 seconds to donate, you're losing out on potential funds, plain and simple. Now, Wix has the best solution here as they give a tool set to handle this type of stuff from the get-go. But Hostinger does have a smaller tool set as well. So third, mobile-friendly design is essential. With over half of web traffic now coming from smartphones, your site needs to look as good on the phone as it does on desktop. Responsive templates, they keep things snappy, they build trust, and they make sure that donors and volunteers see what matters regardless of their device. Now, each of these platforms, they offer this as well. So again, you don't have to worry about that one. And don't overlook scalability either. So maybe your site works great for the first 100 visitors, but what about 1,000 or 10,000 when your annual fundraiser really hits? Well, a good platform lets you add features and pages as your mission evolves without making you start from scratch every time that you need something new. Frankly, all these platforms, they can scale to accommodate probably 98% of nonprofits. However, if your nonprofit eventually gets extremely large, we're talking international expansion here, you may at that point need WordPress to handle it or a more expensive plan on Wix or Hostinger. But generally speaking, they'll all handle most nonprofits without a problem. And last but not least is transparent pricing and solid support. Now, you don't want to realize that help is limited to buried forums. Look for clear pricing, nonprofit discounts, and accessible support channels so you're never left troubleshooting alone. And from a support standpoint, I feel that Wix is the best solution here, and that's followed by WordPress and then Hostinger. Now, when you stack these core ingredients together, you find the difference between a website that quietly helps your nonprofit shine and one that causes headaches, missed opportunities, or wasted resources. So find a builder that meets those standards, and you're giving your mission the digital home it deserves. Now, again, if you want the absolute best pricing on any of these platforms while saving a few bucks and want to support me, which I appreciate, then go ahead and please check the description below for a link to each of these to get started. And I do want to say too, if you have any questions, you're got a nonprofit and you're just not sure, just ask me below in the comments. I'm happy to help you. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.